Hey there, I'm Shelly Airey, professional hand balancer, contortionist, and aerialist, and owner of ShellyFLEX Athletics. And in this video, we're going to be working on side bends, or what we call flags. So we're going to be doing a lot of handstands. The beginning half of this course or this workshop is going to be suitable for beginners. So even if you aren't comfortable doing your handstands out in the middle of the room, that's okay. We're going to be doing a lot of drills and exercises to teach you different shapes and how to side bend. And then the video is going to get very advanced. So this is going to be working towards people that are trying to do one-handed handstands and really deep flags. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Shoulders are gonna be down. You're gonna bring one arm across, feeling a nice stretch through the shoulder and through the back, making sure you're not lifting up this shoulder. So keeping that shoulder down. And we're gonna switch to the other side, same thing, keeping the shoulders down. Okay, then you're gonna bring one arm up, bending at the elbow. You're gonna try to pull those ribs in while lifting your chin up, getting a nice stretch through your tricep. And go ahead and switch. Pulling those ribs in, lifting your head up, feeling the stretch through the tricep. And then you're going to hug and clap and hug and clap, hug and clap and hug and clap. Okay, now we're going to do a standing forward fold. So you're going to send those hips backwards, keeping your legs nice and straight, reaching your hips back, trying to keep your back flat, not rounding in your lower back. Back is really flat. Trying to reach your elbows down towards the floor. And you can let your head relax here. Little pulses, just trying to reach your elbows towards the floor. And then you're gonna stretch your calves, alternating feet, sinking those heels down. Just a little wrist warm up, so I'm just going to do a little figure 8. And on your hands and knees, you're going to do little circles, putting some weight onto your hands, and switch and go the other direction. Then lifting your palms off the floor, keeping some weight in your hands. This is going to help to warm up your forearms. And up onto your fingers. Fingers pointing back towards your knees, and then you're going to sink down. So you're really putting that wrist into an extension, stretching throughout your forearm. You can bend one arm at a time, getting an even deeper stretch through your forearm. And then palms are facing the ceiling. I'm not putting a lot of weight here on my hands. I'm just stretching the front of my forearm. And then you're gonna slide your arms forward, so stretching your shoulders, bringing your chest down to the floor. Bend one arm, you're gonna roll to the side and pull your ribs in, getting a nice deep stretch through your lat, really engaging your core as you push your armpit down towards the floor. And then you're gonna switch, same thing on the other side, pull the ribs in, getting a nice deep stretch through your lat as you engage your core. And one more time to the center. Pushing your chest down to the floor. You can go up onto your fingertips here if you want a deeper stretch. Great. Now we're going to stretch for your pancake and for your side bends. So you're going to do a wide squat here, really sending the knees as wide as you can. You're going to use your elbows on the inside of your knees. Hold your ankles and then bending forward. Really trying to stretch through your hips. You can do a little rock from side to side. So my back is really flat here. I'm not rounding in my back. I'm trying to flatten out as I rock my hips from side to side. And then you can go ahead and sit in your straddle. Okay, and we're gonna reach up and over to one side. Really getting a nice stretch through your side here. This is gonna be super important for when we're doing our side bends. And switch, go to the other side, same thing, up and over. I'm almost trying to rotate my chest up towards the ceiling as I'm reaching to the side. So not rounding and facing the leg, but really opening the chest up towards the ceiling. You can even flex this foot and grab your toe, and that's gonna help you to sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. Watch out for this hip. You don't wanna let any space come underneath your leg. So make sure you're reaching that opposite hip down to the floor. And then you're gonna reach to the center for your pancake. Okay, arms are gonna be up and reaching up and over to one side and then engaging your core to come back up. Because for your side bends, not only do you need flexibility, but you also need strength. So engaging your core. We're gonna do 10 of these. This is 4, 5, making sure that opposite hip stays on the floor. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, we're all warmed up. Now let's get upside down. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna find 2 chairs that are the same height, and you're going to put the backs of them up against the wall so they don't go anywhere. These chairs are not ideal because they're a little tall, but if you're relatively experienced with handstands, you shouldn't have a problem with them. So if you're a beginner, make sure that they're a little bit lower and they're up against the wall. What you're gonna do, your head is gonna go in between the chairs, and so your shoulders are gonna be supported on the arms, okay? You're gonna be holding on to the leg of the chair, and what you wanna be working on here is sending your hips backwards in your tuck or in your straddle position, okay? So that's the first thing we're gonna be doing, is just playing around with tuck and straddle and straight. Then you're gonna work on some side bending. I highly recommend that you put up either a camera or a mirror or something off to the side so that you can turn your head to the side and see your form. Make sure that those hips are far enough behind. And then when we start working on side bending, you want to put your mirror or your camera in front of you so that you can see yourself and see if those side bends are actually happening. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and put your head in between the 2 chairs, and then you're gonna roll up, sending those hips back. Your back is nice and flat here. Then you're gonna open up into your straddle position, okay? Working on sending those hips backwards. You can come up to straight, go back into your tuck. Now we're gonna go to our straddle, and you're gonna be watching yourself from the front, and you're gonna work on that side bending, making sure you keep your hips behind you as you drop low into your side bend. Okay, you can even play around with a few leg waves here, so bend the leg, and to the other side, bend the leg. So bend the knee down to the floor, trade places with the legs, and then come back up. Knee goes all the way down, trade places, and come back up. So now what you want to do is you want to go to that same chair, but now instead of having 2 chairs, you're just going to have 1. You're going to be putting your hands underneath of the chair so that your shoulder is stacked straight on top of your wrists. So the chair is probably going to hit you about here. I'm going to be using this bed. It's not quite what we need, but I'm going to make it work, okay? So what we're going to be working on is really deep side bending now. We're going to be playing around with a few different shapes, okay? Hands are going to go underneath. Bring your chin to your chest, and you're going to kick up and like put your foot on the wall behind you. Okay, you're gonna go back into that same straddle position that you were in before. Now you're gonna side bend, you're gonna lay down as much as you can. Keep laying down. Notice how my right shoulder is starting to sink down, I'm gonna bend this top leg and then I'm gonna bring the leg behind me. At the same time, I'm pushing my chest the opposite direction. Go ahead and come back up. Side bend the opposite way. Okay, now I'm pushing my chest to the right, bending the top leg, and then bring the top leg behind me as I lay down. So what we just did is called a ring flag. Now what we're gonna try is a diamond flag. So you're gonna go into your straddle, you're gonna go to a diamond, and then you're gonna lay down on the side, thinking about bringing this shoulder to your hip bone. So really sinking here, and you're actually gonna sink down into the shoulder, okay? So go ahead and try it. Hands underneath, kicking up. You're gonna go into your straddle, then you're gonna go to your diamond. It's super important that you keep your hips behind you when you're doing this. Now you're gonna lay down, sinking into the shoulder, pushing your chest to the opposite direction, and coming back up. Same thing on the other side, laying down. If you're finding that it's really difficult to come back up, open up into your straddle and then come back up. Okay, so for this next one, you want to get yourself a chair and you want a wall. Now, my wall is not very wide. You want a real wall, but I'm working with what I got. Your hands are going to go down on the ground. You're going to stand up and send your hips to the wall. Pull your chest away. So there's going to be this rotation here, as right now I'm trying to get my left shoulder underneath of me. I'm going to start to pick up my right leg and send my hips back towards the wall and open up into my straddle handstand. Once that feels really solid and you've tried it on both sides, then you're going to try going lower and lower and lower. So here it is on the floor. Again, hands are going to be pointed towards the wall. Now this rotation is going to be even more intense than the one before, okay? So your feet are coming away from the wall. You're going to send your hips to the wall, okay? So look at this really, really big rotation. I'm working really hard to get this shoulder underneath. I'm going to open up into my straddle. I'm really sending my hips backwards as I'm pulling my chest under into my full straddle handstand. So what we've been working on so far is a straddle handstand and then laying down into our flag. Now what we're going to try to do is actually start from the ground and lay even deeper into your flag. So you're going to be tempted to try to pick yourself up, but what you really want to do is continue to lay down. So what you want to do is get yourself something sturdy that you can hold onto. You can use like a door frame or something. I'm using this like super crazy heavy table. You want something that isn't going to move on you. So I'm facing towards this object. My thumb is pointed down. My other hand is going to be pointing like perpendicular to that object. So I'm pointing my fingers away. From here, I'm going to open up this top leg, bringing my chest like underneath as I send my hips back behind me, and I want to lay down. So you're not going to pick yourself up, you're actually going to lay down lower into this flag position. Lay down as much as you can. You can even try to straighten this leg out, but keep laying down to the side. So this is also a really great tool for you to use for conditioning your flags. Flags require a lot of strength. So what we're going to be doing here is really using this arm to help you get deep into your flags, and we're going to basically go down into your flag and then come back out. We're going to do a little bit more advanced flag. We're going to play around with your split flag or your Japanese flag, or we're also going to play around with a pistol flag, okay? So same setup as before, and you're going to lay down into your flag. I'm going to bend this top leg and transition into my ring flag. From here you can go to your split. Come back up to your straddle. You can go down into your pistol. So bend this leg, really leaning into the inside. And coming back out. Okay, so you can play around with all different kinds of variations here, but this is going to really help you to build a lot of strength and flexibility in your flags.